Good evening. Glad you could join me this evening. I know we spoke earlier and you wanted to make sure you worked on linear equations. I was looking for a problem a young lady sent me in the email, but it was a link and the link is now disabled. So, and it's a PDF. That's what I don't understand. It should have opened a PDF, but it did not. So, that's okay. We'll figure it out. It looks like a student site from, let's see. See if we can find it. All right, so what questions do you have? I know you talked about linear equations. Is there any type of question that you wanted to go over?
Um, well, I didn't ask for the linear equations. I know that I'm just kind of starting back up with getting back studying with the GED math. That's the last test I have. So um I'm not really honestly sure where to start because I've been kind of working between like reading your book and I'm also like doing the light and salt learning.
So
Um,
first thing I would probably say is take your practice test first.
I did,
It's,
and I did today, and I got the I um you gave me the discount code, and I scored only a 129 this time.
129. Okay, so now you know the prescription, the GED report. So I want you to send me that GED report. Actually, you can open it up now if you want to. You can open up
Okay,
and tell me what it says,
okay.
and we can
Um,
start right from there.
all right.
Because I sent the link out fairly late. I used to have everything set automatically, but I guess I got to redo it. But yes, you can. Since you're the only one here right now, you might as well just give me what you need specifically.
And since I restarted this thing, I stupidly restarted my password. So on this thing, it shows that I'm not even like done with all the other subjects, but then I um signed into my other email and I'm done with all the subjects. So I don't know.
That's no
It
problem. So
kind
what
of
you what you what you'll do is you'll just call GED and you'll have them
mm-hmm.
merge your account
Okay.
using your new email, whatever email you want. So they can merge your account into one. So you want to make sure you do that though. Now you didn't take the test in different states, did you?
No, they're the
Okay.
same state.
Okay. Yeah. So go ahead and
Just
have them
two different.
merge. Have them merge
Yeah, because I'll
your
have
accounts.
to because I don't know.
I can't hear you. I think you put yourself on mute. You put yourself on mute.
I'm just signing in right now.
Okay.
Um, oh yeah. Forgot that it made me, I don't know why, but for some reason it made me restart my password like right as soon as I logged in. So I'm waiting for it to log in right now.
Okay.
Okay. So it says that I need to keep studying. I it says that I have to link a study material and I
Yeah.
didn't
Pick pick
really know
pick
what to link.
pick Kaplan.
Pick
Pick.
Kaplan. Okay. Let
Mm-hmm.
me just find that
Like
because I
2000.
wasn't really so
You can always go
the
back and change it.
2000 because I have the 2022 and the 2023 version.
All right.
Do I
Pick that one.
choose that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because what that'll do is, so one of the advantages of that This is very important. I need you to understand. And this is very important because it's going to give you what pages in that book that you need to go to study.
Okay. Yep, it showed me. It says that my study pages, multiple step problems, ratio, proportions, percents. Um, it says that I need to construct and explain data from a bar graph, circle graph, etc. I need
So what
to
I
do
want
the
you to do
mean.
is send me that as an email. I'll send you the instructions later on, and
Okay.
I want you to send me that exactly. So when we work together, I'll be able to help you, right? Uh, so
Okay. How
so
do I email this to you?
so first of all, you're gonna
Oh,
act like you're printing it, but
okay.
instead of printing it, you're gonna say print as a PDF, and that'll allow you to
Okay.
save that score report as a PDF, and then you can send that to me in the email.
Okay.
So what's the first? So I know you said you. What was the first couple of things that you said? Ratio and proportions.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna give you an example. It might not seem like a ratio and proportion problem to you, but it actually is. So I'm gonna show you a problem like that. Ratio and proportions are probably 3 to 4 problems on your exam. Where is it? Trying to find a ratio and proportions. Come on, where are you?
And then do I like the way that I send it to, do I just send it through the email you sent it from or
Sent it to the email, right? So pass GED math 79 at gmail.com.
okay, let me just make sure that's popping up that way. Okay, it's a GED math.
Okay, so how you doing, Rel? Can you hear me? Jarrell? Okay, you sent me a text message. Okay, you can hear me. Okay. So when we talk about, and Brittany, you're breaking up. You're turning digital, so I can barely hear you also. But when we talk about
Okay,
ratio and proportions,
because I'm trying.
you're
Do
breaking
you
up.
want me to just send this email afterwards?
Yeah, you can send it
Sorry, do you
afterwards.
want me to
Yeah,
just send the email after?
yeah, yeah. Send it
Okay,
afterwards. So first of all,
okay.
what is a ratio? Does anybody know what is a ratio? Because a lot of times what happens is we look up these concepts and we don't even know what they are. What is a ratio?
Like a part of something?
What do you mean a part of something?
Um, I don't know.
Basically,
Like,
all a ratio is a comparison of two numbers. That's all a ratio is. And there's 3 ways that you will see a ratio. You'll see it with a colon. You'll see it using the word two. And when you're doing computation, you'll see it as a fraction. It's a very important. So when you say there's 2 boys for every 3 girls, okay, so that's first of all, so we understand what a ratio is, just a comparison between two numbers. Well, what is a proportion? A proportion is 2 ratios set equal to each other. The easiest way to show that is with a fraction. For example, 1/2 is equal to how many eighths? This is equivalent fractions, right? So I got to multiply both top and bottom by 4 because 2 times 4 is 8, 1 times 4 is 4. So 1/2 is equal to 4/8. So one of the easiest ways you can tell if things are proportional is to cross multiply. 2 times 4 is 8. 1 times 8 is 8. That's the easiest way to tell if something is proportional. Now, say you didn't know that that was 4. It's 1/2 equal. Now we set it up algebraically. We don't look at it as like a equivalent fraction. We set it up algebraically. 2 times x is 2x. 1 times 8 is 8. Remember, they're set equal to each other. This is a one-step algebraic equation, so we divide both sides by 2, and we get x equal 4. So that's what I mean by what a ratio is and what a proportion is. So a lot of times what happens is when you see a word problem like this, you have to know that they're giving you a comparison already. So when you read a problem like this, it says a scale drawing of a house uses a scale of 0.5 inches equal 2 feet. That means on that scale drawing, for every half inch is actually 2 feet in real life. So this is a comparison. That's your first ratio. That's the ratio that we know. So we do 0.5 inches, and I'm going to write inches is the 2 feet, is equal to what? What is the length in inches of a line on a scale drawing that represents an actual length of 5 feet? So what you should notice on both sides of the equal, you should have the same thing. So that means I'm going to have inches on top and feet on the bottom. Well, that's a given. They gave me what's the actual length of 5 feet. So that's going to go on the bottom. This is an unknown. That's what we use variables for. Okay. So now, how do we solve it? Can we multiply a number by 2 to get 5? Nah, not a whole number. So we can't use equivalent fractions here. So there's several ways which I detail how the ways I say that, or explain how you should solve a proportion. The first way is try to use the easiest way, and that's equivalent fractions, because we know how to do that. The second way is using unit rate. And the third way is to cross multiply. So it's very hard here to really use unit rate. Can we? 0.5 divided by 2 is 0.25 for every feet. So we could do unit rate, but that's kind of a little bit more difficult. So doing by equivalent fraction, I already said, no, we're not going to do that. So the way we're going to use tonight on this problem is cross multiplication. So 2 times x is 2x. 0.5 times 5 is 2.5. If you didn't know that, you would put it in your calculator. Okay. This is a one-step algebraic equation. We're going to divide both sides by 2. And we get x equal 1.25. Now, again, if you didn't know that, you could put it in your calculator. Okay. So that's how we got 1.25. Now, what you also must understand is that there's a common sense way to solve these problems. A lot of times we have problems solving something algebraically, but sometimes we can solve it with common sense. Now, and I'm going to solve this problem by common sense. If 1/2 inch is equal to 2 feet, that means 1 inch is 4 feet. Does everybody understand how I did that? Welcome back. I'm glad to see you again. I'm back. I'll be back on a regular basis now. I don't know if you heard, but my father passed.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So I'll be here on Mondays again with it. So we'll build it back up. I'll make sure.
And that's 5 o'clock Central Time, right?
Oh, yes, 5 o'clock Central. Yes.
Okay, let me write that down because I get it confused.
Okay. So what was given to us? 1/2 inch equal 2 feet. Well, I know 0.5 is 1/2. So I know 1 inch is 4 feet. So I'm just going to watch this. I know 2 inches is 8 feet. Does everybody understand how I got that? So now, when we look at this multiple choice, we're trying to find 5 feet. Well, we know anything bigger than 2 inches can't be it. Anything larger than 2 inches cannot be the answer because we know 2 inches is 8 feet. Can't be 2.5, can't be 10, can't be 20. Done. Done. That's the common sense way. Instead of you be trying to solve it algebraically, do it that way. You're done fast, and you know you got it right. One thing about the GED, one thing about standardized exams, is usually two of the answers are easily identifiable to not be an answer. So if you can, and that's what they mean by an educated guess. If you can eliminate 2 of 4 multiple choice, you come down to a 50-50 chance. So this is an example of ratio and proportions, the type of problem. And that's called an objects at scale. They love using objects at scale on your GED. I don't know if you took a practice test recently or take a real test recently, but you've probably seen a scale problem on the GED. Okay.
Yeah, they
Jarrell,
definitely have these on there.
yes. Jarrell, if you need to send me so you can type in the chat if you got any questions since your mic is not working. Teresa, do you have any questions or something you've been working on you want me to go over?
I think for me, I have a problem with the T chart where they have a certain number, they have certain numbers going in, and then on one line on the X line they'll have uh an empty number, and then on the Y line they have another number, and you got to figure out what sets go in there, and I always miss those.
So explain that to me again. I'm sorry.
The function, the T chart, the Y and the X, like I guess the input and the output.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Yeah.
so I mean, you probably won't see that on your GED, but I will explain to you how. So for example, a linear function or linear equation. So remember the difference between a linear equation and linear function is for every X, there's only one Y. That's what makes something a function. But they're basically the same thing. So you'll see Y equal 2X plus 3, or they might say F of X equal 2X plus 3. They're the same thing. So all you're doing, so if you have X and Y, or X and F of X, remember F of X is just same as Y. It means that's your output. So if my input is 0, 1, and 2, if I plug a 0 into this as X, I'm going to get 2 times 0 plus 3, which is equal to 3. If X is 1, I'm going to get 2 times 1 plus 3 equal 5.
Okay.
If X is 2, I'm going to get 2 times 2 plus 3, which is equal to 7. So now you have 3 points: 0, 3, 1, 5, 2, 7. So now you would just put them on a graph. That's it. That's all they want. And when you have to evaluate a function, you're just plugging in something for X. So for here, for this, they'll have something like this. They'll have F of 0, F of 1, F of 2. This number inside the parentheses is your X. So it's just saying evaluate this function when X is 0. Again, we get 3, 5, and 7. They're the same type of problem.
Okay.
Got me?
Yeah, I got you. Thank you.
And they are not hard at all. And this young lady is sending me a lot of problems. I'm glad she did. I wish she would send me the one she sent me last week about the compound problem. But I'm gonna do that also. I'll make one up. Doesn't matter. So again, that's where they get you call them a T chart. It's input and output, X and Y, or how the GED refers to it as a table.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, that's it. It's a table. So they're going to be very forthright and forward with what they're telling. So they're not going to use, the only time they're going to use functions, you have to evaluate the function or if the function is valid or not. So a lot of times people are studying all this material, and that's one of the things I want to explain to you. with the ebook and come to class on Monday, the type of questions you can expect to see. What you should notice is if you've taken the test, a lot of stuff that you've been studying is not even on the exam.
That's true. So true. Yeah.
Testing 1 2 3.
There are
We can
times
hear
that
you.
you're
Okay,
wasting
perfect.
hours, days, weeks, months studying certain material you don't even need.
Yeah.
Quadratic equations, for example, if you took that in high school, it's 2 to 3 weeks in school. They're only going to ask you either to factor a quadratic equation or solve a quadratic equation. So you don't have to go to, because I had a young lady send me a screenshot of completing the square, solving a quadratic equation. Then she got mad at me because I said, you don't need that for the GED. For college algebra, you need that. But for right now, let's focus on what types of problems you're going to get on the GED, because the ultimate goal is to get your diploma first. Now, if you say, Mr. Tinsley, you know what, I want to go to college. Okay, then we can walk through the more difficult types of concepts that you need for college algebra. But to pass the GED, I've been studying this exam. I know the type of problems that you have. So the young lady last week gave us a problem. I said, listen, I wouldn't spend my time. You might have one problem. It's not worth spending days, weeks studying this concept when you're only going to have one question.
Yeah, that's
worry
true.
about it.
Okay.
So let me see if I can see this problem that she has. Well, first of all, I'll make up a question first. So say I have, again, I'm making this up. Okay. This is a compound figure. What they mean by compound is that there's more than one shape. There's more than one shape. You should see two shapes. Well, let me ask you, what two shapes do you see in this compound figure?
Rectangle and a triangle.
A rectangle and a triangle. So watch this. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're not going to make that 5. We're going to make this, hold on. We're going to make that 6 so I can make this a nice, easy problem that we can do. So I'm going to do this 2 ways. First of all, I'm going to find a perimeter and I'm going to find the area of this composite or compound shape. Some people call it compound, some people call it composite. I think on the GED, they use composite shapes. It's just more than one shape. So recognize that there's two shapes. So if I wanted to find the area of this composite shape, that means I need to find the area of the triangle plus the area of the rectangle. Does everybody understand that?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So we go to our formula sheet. The formula sheet gives us everything we need to know. So the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. The area of a rectangle is length times width. So now they have to give you some more information. Let's just assume that this dotted line bisects the base of that rectangle, so they're even on both sides. So when we look at this rectangle, it's 4 by 6, which is 24. Does everybody understand that?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm with you.
Now, this triangle, well, opposite sides of a rectangle are equal. So what it tells you is this side here is also 6. That's my base. So 1/2, my base is 6, my height is 4. 1/2 of 24 is 12. So to find the area of this composite shape, I need to add the 24 plus the 12 is I'm gonna get 36. So most people don't have a problem with that. Most people do not have a problem with that. They can kind of see how that's done. But what if I asked you the perimeter of this shape? Oh my goodness, Mr. Tins, are you serious? What if I asked you the perimeter of this shape? So I'm gonna change my color back to red so we can see. What if I ask for the perimeter? Now the perimeter is a little different. The area is inside. The perimeter is the distance around. Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
A lot of people miss this question exam. A lot. This is what you do. Change the color to red. You want the distance around. Does everybody understand that? Okay.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So if this side is 4, this side is 4, right? We want distance around. How do we get that? Well, we have, what you should notice is that's a right triangle. So if we have this is 3, this is our height is 4, then we have to use Pythagorean theorem. So remember, Rel, the other day we were working with Pythagorean theorem, and you understood how to solve them computational, but when they started using applied, when do you use it? This is an example where you got to find the missing side of a right triangle. So Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So, and let me ask you, Rel, what side is C? Do we know side C?
No, you're solving for
We
C.
don't know we're solving it.
We're solving. So the opposite side of that 90-degree angle is your C. So we got 3 squared plus 4 squared,
4 squared
equals C squared. Can somebody tell me what 3 squared is?
9.
Can somebody tell me what 4 squared is?
16.
Equals C squared. What's 9 plus 16?
25.
25. Now, we're still not done because we haven't solved for C. We have C squared equal 25. How do we get rid of that square? How do we solve for C?
Square root it.
Square root. So we take the square root of both sides and we get C equal 5. Does everybody understand that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this side is 5. This side is 5. So now to find a perimeter, we're going to do 6 plus 4 plus 5 plus 5 plus 4. So we get 10 plus 10 plus 4. Our perimeter is 24. Now, this was feet, inches, centimeters. Doesn't matter. I'm just using the numbers. But that's how and you're going to have a problem like this. Okay? I wish I had that problem that I could show you. I guess I can draw. Let me see. Let's do
Oh, gosh.
hold on. No. Let me do.
That's awful. That's intimidating.
Okay.
Okay. So, what if I asked you what was the perimeter of this shape? Oh my God, Mr. Tinsley. Oh my God, I don't know how to do this problem. No. What I want you to do, when you're taking this GED, if you see any problem, first of all, that you deem too difficult, is giving you too much anxiety, too much frustration, skip it, flag it for review, come back to it. Second thing I want you to understand is when you start to get frustrated, take 2 or 3 deep breaths. What do I know? I got a whole bunch of rectangles here.
Okay.
Right? I know this side is 20. I know this side is 5. So I know this whole length is 20. So if I don't know what this is here, I know this is 7, this is 7, right? So again, we want to use, let me put a number here first up. Let me change a number here. Let me make sure I have this so that's clear. Let's make this 5 here. We'll make this side 5 here. Let's make this I'm making these numbers up again. I'm 3. Right? So again, opposite sides are equal of a rectangle. So if this side is 3, this
That
side
side
is
is
3.
3.
If this side is 7, this side is 7. If this side is 5, this side is 5. Right?
That side
So
is
now,
12.
if we go across, we got 3. So we go across, we got 3 here. We got 7 here. We don't know what this is here, but we know this is 7. So this is 7 plus 7 is 14, plus 3 is 17. We know this piece is now 3. Everybody understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If this
Because
whole side,
you're trying to get to 20, right?
trying to
That's
get
what-
to 20.
Yeah. I
This
got you.
whole side is 12. But from here to here,
It's 5.
it's 5. So from here to here, again, it's not drawn on the scale, so I apologize. This is 7.
And it's the 12.
Okay. So now we want every side. So now let me erase some of these things here. So we have every side? 7, 3, 5, 7, 5, 3. We don't have this side. Right? So I'll put something there. I missed it. So that's 7. Let's just say it's the same thing as here.
It gotta
That's
be 5.
All right. So now we have every distance around. So 7 plus 3 is 10. So let me change my color blue. 7 plus 3 is 10. Plus 5 is 15. Plus 7 is 22.
27.
27.
30.
30.
35.
35.
42.
42.
54.
54.
Another 20. 74. Yeah.
I can almost guarantee you're going to see a problem like that. But what you now listen, when you first looked at this problem, you said, oh my God, oh no. You take those deep breaths, identify what you know. Opposite sides of rectangles are equal. So then segment it into your rectangles and find the opposite sides. You're going to have a question like this. If you've taken the test, you probably see a problem like that. Okay. See this. Somebody just sent me a question. Look at it. She got that right up. Maybe she doesn't understand it. So, hold on. Let me make this a little bit bigger. I can't make it bigger. 12. Oh, okay. Let me see. I think it's at 12 plus 15 divided by 3 times 6 minus 4. Does anybody know how to do this problem?
Yeah.
How would you do this problem?
And you're going to do in PennDOS first.
Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So if you didn't know, that's what PEMDAS stands for. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, which is a shortcut for you to remember parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. That's the order of operations. But what it doesn't tell you is that multiplication and division are basically the same thing.
On
Addition and
same level.
subtraction are basically the same thing, or inverse operations. But you got to go left to right. So we don't have any parentheses. We don't have any exponents. We have multiplication and division, but we're going left to right. So first we're going to do this first.
Yep.
So we got 12 plus 5 times 6 minus 4. We have multiplication. We do multiplication next.
5 times
12
6.
plus 30
Plus 30.
minus 4.
Yep.
Again, we go left to right.
Yep.
42 minus
Minus
4
4.
is 38.
Yep.
Now, let's check it. Remember, we have the most useful tool. And listen, I can't say this enough. If you take this exam and you don't name your calculator, like you literally don't give it a name, that means you haven't used him enough. Because your calculator should be your best friend going into this GED exam.
That's my friend.
So let's put it in. 12 plus 15 divided by 3 times 6 minus 4. So I proved I did it by hand first. Then I showed you using the calculator. Okay, so your order of operations, you may have one, but you're going to probably have it. So be ready for it. Okay. Let me see if the next question she asked. I can't see it. Let me open up on my email. She sent it to me. She sent it. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So let me open up here. Oh, she must have been, she must she must have been on, oh, she must have been on, watching the video of mine. So let me clear this. So what happens is, one of the, one of, one of the problems you can expect to get is simplifying exponents. Okay. Your exponent rules are very important. So the problem I made up is 8x to the third. She just sent it to me. Y to the seventh. Z over 12x to the fifth. Y to the 12th. Z to the third. So if I told you to simplify this problem, would anybody know how to do this problem? Because you can't use your calculator to do this problem. You have to know the exponent rules in order to do this. But does anybody know how they would solve this problem? Now listen, remember my advice. If you come across a problem that you know is going to give you difficulty, and you know you might have to spend a lot of time on it, what are you going to do?
Skip
Skip
it.
it and flag it.
Listen,
Yeah.
that's the most important advice I can give you. I'm telling you. Okay, but how can anybody tell me how to do this problem?
I wouldn't have a clue. I wouldn't have a clue.
Anybody have any clue? So that's why you come to these sessions. And this is why the young lady sent this to me in the email. This is why if you get stuck on a problem, send it to me. Because you may spend weeks trying to figure it out when I can show you a short amount of time. So first of all, let me review the exponent rules very quickly. So anything to the 0 power is 1.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what it is, 8 to the 0, 10 to the 0. Anything to the 0 power is 1. That's your first exponent rule. Your second exponent rule is anything to the first power is the base. That's your second exponent. Your third exponent rule is if you're multiplying exponents with the same base. If you're multiplying exponents with the same base, you add the exponents. So 8 to the third times 8 to the fifth is 8 to the 8th.
Yeah.
If you're dividing exponents with the same base, you subtract the exponents top minus bottom.
Yeah.
Seven minus 5 is 2. If you're raising an exponent to a power, you multiply. And the last rule is the negative exponent. So for example, z to the negative second is equal to 1 over z squared. So basically all you're doing is reversing. So if it's on the top, you put it on the bottom. If it's on the bottom, you put it on the top and you change the sign of the exponent.
Yeah.
So with this problem here though, it's multiple steps. So when you first looked at this problem, you said, oh my God, I will flag this for review. When I get to the end, I'm just going to pick a, one of the multiple choices. I'm going to show you here tonight because you're going to see this type of problem. You have to know all your exponent rules. Anything to the 0 power is 1. Anything to the first power is its base. When you're multiplying exponents with the same base, you add the exponents. When you're dividing exponents with the same base, you subtract the exponents, top minus bottom. If you're raising the exponent to a power, you multiply the exponent. And the last one is if you have a negative exponent, you switch the orientation, change the sign. Okay, you might not know what that means. And this may be the first time you've seen all this. So I'm going to go step by step on how you do it. So let me save this. So when you go to it, and we're going to, first of all, you're going to look at things separately. First of all, I'm going to look at the 8 and the 12.
Mhm.
What's the highest number that can go into 8 and 12?
4.
4. So 4 goes into 8 how many times?
2 times.
How many times does 4 go into 12?
3.
So I'm gonna put the answer down here. So we got a 2 on the top and a 3 on the bottom. Does everybody understand that first step?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm gonna go to the second step.
You add the pounds.
So now, what's that line mean between?
Division.
Division. So we have x to the third divided by x to the fifth. So what happens is we're going to subtract the exponents because we're dividing exponents with the same
That's
base.
right.
The base is x. The exponents are 3 and 5. Does everybody understand that?
Mm.
So I'm going to do 3 minus 5. What is 3 minus 5?
2.
What kind of 2?
Negative 2.
Negative 2. So this is equal to x to the negative
Minus
second.
2.
So how do we know we're subtracting here?
Because we're dividing.
Top minus bottom.
It's division.
Okay.
Yeah.
Top minus bottom. So 3 minus 5. So we got x to the negative second. Understand that?
Mm.
Yeah.
Now we go to the next one. We change my color. I'm going to go to green. I'm going to change this a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm going to change this a little bit.
Now you got might subtract.
I'm going to change. I'm not going to make them all the same way. I'm going to make this a 3 up top. Okay. Let me change back to green. So now I'm looking at the third one. I'm looking at them together. 7 minus 12 is minus 5. So we get y to the negative fifth. Everybody understand that?
Yeah.
And then the last one is your z. You look at them separately. Now, we don't see an exponent here. When we don't see an exponent, what's the exponent?
It's a 1.
It's a
It's an
1.
invisible one.
Right. So what's 3 minus 1?
2.
2.
So we got z squared. In any standardized exam, you will not see a negative exponent as an answer. So remember what I told you. Change the orientation and then change the sign. So the x to the negative second moves down to the bottom and becomes x squared. X to the negative fifth moves down to the bottom because it's at the top. So that's what I mean by change orientation. If it's on the top, it goes to the bottom. If it's on the bottom, you move it to the top and change that sign. Let me get the pencil together first. We got y to the fifth. So my answer will be 2z squared divided by 3x squared y to the fifth.
So simple.
It makes it seem simple, but
Yeah.
remember what we did. First of all, we understood the exponent rules. You must, in order to do well in algebra, you must know these exponent rules. You must. Once you understand the exponent rules, a problem like this, since you have to do so many different concepts into one problem, you start to get a better understanding. Now, let me show you something. This is the type of question you may see on the exam. Again, those exponent rules are important. You might see something like this. This is a very similar problem. Okay? So let's do this problem together. So first of all, what Sharon said is, first of all, you got to know your order of operations. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. So again, we're going to break this problem down step by step. I don't know how to cook, but I can read a recipe. I know how to pull a shrimp out the freezer. I know how to thaw the shrimp. I know how to put the seasoning on. I can follow a recipe. So what we're doing each Monday night, what I'm showing you how to do is to break these problems down step by step. So if you don't understand them, go back to the video and keep rewinding until you do. So, parentheses. Do we have parentheses? Yes. But there's nothing inside these parentheses we can simplify because they don't have the same basis. Everybody understand that?
Yeah.
Exponents. We do have exponents. We got a 9, a 5, a 4, and a 2. But we have an exponent on the outside.
Outside.
So what we're going to do is we're going to bring this 2 to the 9th times 3 to the 5th down. Now, remember, exponent rules tell us that if you raise to a power, you multiply. So 4 times 2
It's 8.
is 2 to the 8th. Remember, we don't see an exponent here, so 1.
1.
2 times 1
It's 2.
is 2. Hold on, Mr. Tinsley. What happened to the parentheses? You should know the associative property and the commutative properties, if you don't know them, tells you if I rearrange the parentheses or put them in a different order, let me put it in layman's terms. Let me not even go through all that. Let me put it in layman's terms. 3 times 4 times 5 is the same as 5 times 3 times 4. Doesn't matter what order you put them in. Does everybody understand that?
Yeah.
That's layman terms. We're not even going to commutative associative. We're not even going to go through all that. When you're multiplying, and that's the only operation you have, doesn't matter what. So let's change the order of these. So I'm going to have 2 to the 9th times 2 to the 8th times 3 to the 5th times 3 to the 2nd. Does everybody understand what I did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now, remember your exponent. If I'm multiplying
You gotta add
exponents with the same base, I must add the exponents.
Mm-hmm.
So what is 9 plus 8?
It's 17.
Same thing here. They both have a base 3. I'm multiplying them together. What's 5 plus 2?
7.
There go your answer. Okay. You're going to have simplified exponents on your exam. Guaranteed. You're going to have it. You must know your exponent rules in order to do well in algebra. You must. Okay. So that's an example of a GED type question. Now, let me show you the common sense way, as I like to. And then I'm going to show you the calculator. Common sense way. Where did they get 6 from? Because they did 2 times 3 is 6. 9 plus 5 is 14. 2 times 3 is 6. Plus 4. That's how they get plus 2. I don't know what they did here. And that's how they got 6 to the 20. They wanted you to, you're not multiplying 2 times 3. Remember, exponent is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. This exponent is 3 times 3 times 3, It's not 6. Now here you can see 6, you can see 6, you can see 6, but that's not part of the exponent rules.
No.
Okay. So what we can do right away is we can eliminate those 2. How did you get 2 to the 13? 9 plus 4 is 13. They want to see if you forgot about this raised to a power. That's why they got that 2 to 13. Guess what? Let me show you something so we can get rid of that. So now we know our answer without even doing it all the way. But I had a student. He had problems with the exponent rules. He came back, Mr. Tinsley, and he said, I got that problem. I said, explain to me what you did, sir. He said, I used my calculator. And what I did was, I knew how to use my calculator. So I said 2 to the 9th times 3 to the 5th. I wrote it exactly the way you see it.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly the way. And I got my answer. I said, okay. Well, where did you go from there? He said, since I know the multiple choice, one of those answers, I then put each of those answers in until I got the same number. So I went to the first one and I said 6 to the 20th. That's not it. So if I know 6 to the 20th is too large, I know 6 to the 24th can't be it. Because 6 to the 24th is even a larger number. Then I went to the third one and I typed it in 2 to the 13th times 3 to the 7th. And I still didn't get the same answer. But I wanted to make sure, Mr. Tinsley. So I typed in the last one, 2 to the 17th times 3 to the 7th. And I got the same
That's
example.
the same answer.
Look at that. Let's go back up. See what we got before. 286-654-464. Look at that. Same answer. My answer was D, Mr. Tinsley. And I didn't even know how to do the exponent move. So he said, what you told me, Mr. Tinsley, is 100% right. I know one of the multiple choices the answers. So, and I know I can use my calculator to evaluate or find a result of all of these exponents. All I need to do is find one that's the same. I said, wow, stop playing. You cannot go into this test defeated. I'm going to show you the multiple ways to solve these problems. What I need you to do is practice. Go on my site and you're going to practice. So when you get to your exam, you are ready for any problem that they're going to give you. The reason why most people don't fail, the reason why most people fail is because they don't finish the exam. They spend too much time on any one problem. Don't do it. Okay? So that was that one. Anybody else have a question that they've been working on that they need help in? Doesn't matter what type of problem it is. I think I answered all her problems. I can't open this one for some reason. Okay, here's a good one. Let me put this on the screen.
Mr. Tinsley, the quizzes, right? Are they on the Canvas site?
Yes.
I didn't see them. I don't know what I was looking at.
So I had to move them to Canvas.
Okay, because I was looking for the quizzes, and I'm like, I didn't see them. I see
let me
the
show you.
test. Yeah, I didn't see them. Yeah, okay.
See, I got 1,000 emails, right?
Okay.
So when you go to the site, you'll
I
see
see 'em.
several different sections.
Okay.
So whole numbers, absolute value and sign numbers, decimals, fractions, ratio and proportions, percents, probability, exponents. With me and the young man, is he still logged in? Real, you still logged in? Yeah, he's still logged in. Tables, charts, and graphs, mean, median, mode, and range, volume, the surface area, air, and perimeter. Angles and triangles, algebra, linear equations, system equations, quadratic equations, measurements, and then we have practice tests. So the assessments you're talking about, what I would expect you to do, first of all, the first 5, whole numbers, absolute value, sign numbers, decimals, fractions, ratio, proportions, percents, first 6. Those you should have 75 to 80%. I would make sure that in those areas. What do you mean make sure, Mrs. Tinsley? So you can, doesn't matter which one you go to, you click on it. There's a pre-test in that section.
Okay.
That tells you, do I know this material well enough? If you score 75, 80, move on. But if you go to each pretest, it's going to see what you know and you don't. So, of course, I made them, so I can't really take it, but I can go to the preview. So, that's too easy. Well, I don't know. Ratio 7 to 10 is 7 to 10, 7 over 10, 7 colon 10, all the above. That's pretty easy. That's just to know. And that's what we just did earlier. Do you know how to express, how do you see the different ways to express a ratio? Write the ratio, 16 pens to 12 brushes, as a fraction in simplest form. That's easy. 16 to 12.
Yes, sister.
4 goes into 16 4 times. 4 goes
Three.
into 12 3 times. 4 to 3.
That's it.
That's it. So what you want to do is, so you might say, oh, that's easy. Mr. Tinsey, I understand that. Well, first of all, I placed them in an order to see if you have a conceptual understanding of ratio and proportions. As you move through these questions, then you get to the word problems. Then you get to something like this. Okay? First of all, I need you to have a conceptual understanding, and then we're going to move up in the difficulty of the types of questions. So a ratio of compact cars to larger model cars. So remember what I said, how you can use see a ratio with a colon with the word to, or as a fraction, right? So we see that word to. So compact cars to larger models. So that means when they give you this ratio 9 to 4, this
It's
9
large.
corresponds to the compact cars.
Mhm.
The 4 is the
Is the
larger
large.
cars.
Mhm.
So 9 compact cars,
And 4 large.
larger cars. Now, if I'm doing math, I don't write the CC and the LC. I just wrote the CC and the LC so you understand CC is for compact cars and the LC is for larger cars. I'm going to draw my equal sign because 2 of proportion is 2 ratios set equal to each other. If 72 compact cars were sold, well, compact cars are on the top. That means my 72 needs to go on top. So as I expressed to you earlier, to solve a proportion, try equivalent fractions first, unit rate second, cross multiplication last. So, is there a number I can multiply 9 by to get 72?
8.
8. Whatever I do to the top,
I do
I
to
do
the
to the
bottom.
bottom. 4 times 8,
4 times 8 is 36.
30, sure about that?
32, sorry.
32 larger cars. Nice, easy problem. Nice, easy problem. So this is the information that you'll have at your disposal. You take that pretest. See if you understand ratio proportion. If you score 70 or 80, you move to the next section. Now, if you want to test whether you know something well or not, there's also a post-test. So you can take the pretest, you can study for a while. So remember, I want to explain how you use this site. So say, for example, you got a 50 on a pretest. So you need to study, go in depth more for ratio and proportions. So right here, I have an online textbook lesson. So you can go into that lesson. Doesn't matter. So now, writing ratios, Bayesian simplest form, equivalent rates, compare unit rates, write and solve proportions, connect proportions to real world situations, solving unit scale. So what I tried to do is the type of proportions or ratio proportions you may see on the GED is I put it in here. So you got scale problems, you got real world problems, you got unit rates. So let's do that.
How do we get to this website, Mr. Tinsley?
Send me your email and I'll give you access to.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I put it in the chat bar?
Yeah, you can put it in the chat bar, but I probably would say send me an email so it remind me because when I don't want to forget you. So this site is an incredible site. Okay, you don't need any other resource. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. What they did was they added AI. You can actually learn about certain concepts using AI using this website. But I'm going to close that right now. What I want to show you is the textbook. Unit scale with proportion. It'll run through the types of problems. Just like I just did. 1/2 inch is equal to 2 feet. You set up your ratio. Look at that. You identify your given ratio. then set up your proportion. It walks you through how to do it. Then you have a short video, you got different examples, and then you have a quiz to see what you know. You don't have to wait for me till next Monday. You can pick a subject matter that you're working on and you can work on it. And then any questions you have where you get stuck, you're going to send me a text. You're going to send me an email. You don't have to wait till next Monday because we want to get this done. So this is all the resources I tried to put on here. It's no cost. This doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't cost you anything. What it does cost you is your time. But I also have practice. So once you have it down, CK12 practice or Khan Academy practice, or I have my own assessments that I made up, proportions, ratio and proportions. You can take them. Okay. I also showed you how to do racial proportions if you use your ebook. This is a video how to quickly solve proportions using your calculator. So I tried to put everything in one place. I'm not saying you can't use other resources. What I'm telling you is, since 2014, I'm 100%. You don't have to use anything else. You don't have to use anything else.
Can you send us that website in the chat bar, that other one?
So so when you sign up for this course, everything is inside of here. So for example, when you go to the introduction here,
Oh,
when I
okay.
send it to you, it's going to tell you what you need to do to get access. So it's going to say, hold on, my computer's acting slow right now. It's going to give you an introduction. Enroll in CK12 GED Math. Enroll Khan Academy GED class. You're just going to click on those links. It's going to take you to see. If you have a Gmail, it's much easier. Now, the only problem is these videos are old. This is when I used to have the course. So I got to redo for Canvas. So I apologize about that. They're old videos. But this is how you enroll in the CK12 and Khan Academy. So you can have access to those textbooks. So now, if you don't have access, if you have a Gmail, it's easy. You hit enroll, it's going to take you to the site. You just say log in with Google. Nice and easy. But all this stuff is no cost to you. So what I was saying to you, Brittany, earlier, is you take your GED practice test. If you take your real test, they give you a score report. You're going to use that score report to go to the sections that you need.
Yeah.
So if it said mean and median, you're going to go here. Volume and surface area, you're going to go here. Algebra here. Linear equations here. Quadrant, whatever you need. You don't have to study everything. And that's the problem most students make. They try to study everything. They get 6 months in and they start getting frustrated. Use your practice test to identify the areas you need to work on first. And I guarantee you, learning how to use the calculator in your GED practice test, what you're going to do is, after that 30 days of focus on those areas you didn't know, and using this calculator, you're going to see your score, your practice score go up 10, 15, 20 points. Then you're going to say, okay, I'm going to practice. I'm going to take Mr. Tensley's practice test and his practice, because I also have, I didn't even show it to you, but I also have, let me see. How many practice tests do I have? I have a whole bunch. Let me see. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Oh, wow. You got quite a few. That'll help tremendously.
Listen, you don't have to pay for a practice test ever again. Why? Because when you see the 43, the 45, the 54, the 56, the 46, the 45, the 40, the 52, those are full GED exams. That will give you a good indication. Do I know this material? And guess what? You will also see that it says with feedback. Any ones with feedback, that's the ones I would tell you to take first. Why? Because the ones with feedback is going to give you whatever problem you got wrong, it's going to show you how to do it, either with a video or text. So then what you do is you go through, use that feedback, make sure you understand it, take it again. Work through the problems again. Your goal is to score 70 or more. If you score 70 or more on my practice exams, you are ready to take the real exam.
Okay. That's good.
And
Okay.
this is why I say with confidence, I'm 100% over the last 10 years. Hold on, Mr. Taylor. You see it says 2014. There's nobody who I helped that put the time in that has taken this test and not passed. 100%. There's probably nobody in the United States of America that can say they are 100% over the last decade. Listen, I'm gonna cut the video. I'm gonna cut the recording off for a second. So, my suggestions to you is this. First of all, take your GED ready practice exam for math. It's going to give you a score report. You take that score report and you're going to come to my site and you're going to cover those concepts that you did not understand. But in my site also, the first 6 sections are basic math. Those are the foundational math that I think you should know. Whole numbers, fractions, decimal percents, ratio and proportions, absolute value, and sign numbers. Those sections you should score 80 or above. And exponents. Why? Because those are the foundational concepts of math. Then you're going to move into your algebra. All this, the area, the volume, the perimeter. That's all algebra. Linear equations, quadratic equations, all algebra. And then I'll show you how to solve the most difficult problems. I think Brittany said she had a question about how do I find the slope from 2 points. I can show you how to do it with the calculator. I can show you how to do it by hand too. I can show you how to do it with the calculator in less than 1 minute. So now, instead of you spending or having a conceptual understanding, and what I want you to do is have a conceptual understanding of it. Once you know how to do it, then you're going to learn how to use or solve those problems with the calculator, because now you're taking your time from 3 and 4 minutes to solve those problems now to 30 seconds to a minute.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's about 7:10. I went over. Listen, this is what I want you to do. I want you to practice it. And I don't care what resource you use. If you use Kaplan, if you use Stex-Vaughn, I don't care what you use. If that's what you want to use, if you want to feel comfortable with that, use them. If you spent your money, you don't want to waste your money, use them. What I'm telling you is, I gave you a resource. We have everything you need in one place. You have the ebook. If you bought the ebook, take 2 weeks, 3 weeks to go through that ebook and learn how to use that calculator. If you notice, when I went through those exponents, I used the caret, I used different things quickly. Look how fast I did it. Use those 2 weeks to make sure you know how to navigate this calculator. Okay, a young lady just passed last week. She finished the exam. And this is another young lady. I explained this before, but another young lady called the proctor up. She said, something happened to my exam. She said, no, nothing happened. You finished. She said, but I still have an hour left. She finished the whole exam in 1 hour.
Wow.
But she didn't even know that this same young lady had taken the exam 6 or 7 times and not passed. Listen. She worked with me for 3 weeks. That's it. For 3 weeks. I said, give me an hour a day, learn how to use this calculator, guarantee you pass. She was in graduation. We had a citywide graduation last Tuesday. And she was in that graduation. And she's been trying. She's been trying to get her GED for 3 to 4 years.
Wow.
I'm not trying to sell wolf tickets. What I'm telling you is evidence-based. What I'm telling you is the people that I help, if you take your time, go through the ebook, spend half an hour to an hour a day, in about 30 days, you'll be ready to take this exam.
Okay.
Okay?
I sent you my email. Did you get it? I mean, I
sent
sent you an email.
Let's see.
From Teresa Ringo.
Yes, I just got 3 emails. I'm sorry. Yes, yep. Can you send me your website? I got it. Ooh, and I love your signature. I can do all things through Christ that who strengthens me. You better
That's right.
stop. That's what I'm talking about. That's the signature I'm talking about. I
Yeah.
can do all
Um,
things through Christ who strengthens me. I love it. But then, I want everybody to use my site, but I just love it. I just had to say that. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. So
All
listen,
right.
I'll see you next week. Have your questions ready. Um, log into my site if you see any issues, because I had to move from Schoology to Canvas. There's some issues. I haven't had really time with my dad being sick to really,
Yeah, I'm sorry about
find
that.
all the issues with it. So, but I'm going to be working on the month of July. I'm going to be working through it to get it up to par. But
Okay.
as you work through it, let me know if you find any mistakes, any errors, any questions that you have during the week. Take a picture, write them down, send them to me, text me, email me, so we can go over them next month.
What's your text number?
Hold on, let me pause it real quick. Am I still recording? Where's the? I'm not recording anymore. I must have
It says recording. You still are recording.